All right, you guys, I've had this idea for a while now. I've been thinking of ways to be a little bit more interactive on the show, especially as a solo podcast host. And I thought to myself, one of my favorite things about listening to or watching a podcast is when I feel like I want to talk back to it. Does that make sense? Or when it gives me something that I want to sit in, digest, and kind of think about. You know what I mean? I have no plan, but I'm totally rocking with the idea because I knew I wanted to discover other podcasts on the show. So, with the help of my partner, I know how much he loves Bitch Bible. So I asked him to send me a good episode for me to watch for the first time, and I'm super excited to see how it goes. This is a podcast hosted by Jackie Schimmel, so sit back and discover a new podcast with me, and let's see what other podcasts we can discover together. Let me know in the comments, slide into my DMs. All lines of communication are officially opened for show suggestions that you would like to see on Unshut. This is Bitch Bible, episode Drops of Stupider.
Good morning, everybody. I'm just a dance mom in a scrunchie. I took Clyde to ballet this morning, and I was thinking I was going to pull him because it just wasn't vibing. It just wasn't meshing. It's a lot of floor work, and he's just like a little boy that wants to run and shake his tits. So I thought maybe like gymnastics or I don't know, something else.
What did I
But
get
today
myself
we really
into?
turned a corner. Okay. Barishnikov is back, baby. He was pointing those toes. He was leaping. I mean, he was like somewhat listening to the instructions, and he really popped off the pages. So Cooper Nielsen, watch your fucking back because Clyde Hawes is coming for your gig. I got back from
Hey.
San Francisco a couple days ago. I had the best time at the San Francisco show. What a great crowd. I historically have had some trauma in San Francisco. My last two shows, like the first show, obviously we discussed this so many times. I lost a friend. And then the second show that I did in San Francisco, I brought my cousin Joe, and she made some remarks on what was it exactly? I'll have to check the Reddit thread. I'm kidding. They don't exist, and I don't go on Reddit. She said something about feminism that didn't fare well in San Francisco, and then an anorexic joke, which always slaps, and
Hell yeah.
then or was it an anorexia or bulimia joke? I just don't know. I'll have to phone a friend. And then there was some commentary on the transgender community, which I will not repeat, and just not great. Like all said in jest, but not wonderful. It was a real record scratch. So I was so happy to redeem myself for the third time in San Francisco. But listen to this. Okay. So I fly out Tuesday morning, and I fly out of Burbank, which is a smaller airport in Los Angeles. It's the most unbelievable airport experience you will ever have. It's like walking into like a bedroom and then walking onto a
Yes.
plane and then walking out. It is the most easy, breezy, small. I was in and out of security in maybe 34 seconds. I was on the plane in 2 minutes. But listen.
We're listening. I'm so
So
locked
I'm
in.
getting onto the airplane, and at Burbank, you kind of step out of the airport. The tarmacs are kind of outside. So you go up the ramp to board the plane. And I've got my carry-on, and I'm waiting to board. And, you're just a stone's throw from the pilot's window. And the pilot's window is open. This is at 9:30 in the morning. I look at the pilot, who is 5 feet away from me as I'm waiting to board. And he has his head in his hands, and he is hysterically crying at 9:30 in the morning.
Hell
Okay.
no.
So much so that I'm looking around at the other plane patrons, and I'm like, do you see what I see? And the woman's like, oh, he must be having a bad day. I'm like, you're not my people. You're not like
Fuck
allowing
no.
me to talk shit, and where you're not recognizing that this feels a little dangeroso. Okay. Head
Hell
in hands,
yes.
crying. I thought, oh, maybe he's watching something on the lap. Okay. Maybe he's meditating. Maybe he's going over flight paths. But no, as I'm getting closer, this man is hysterically crying, visibly crying before we board this 45-minute to San Francisco. So I'm thinking, okay, am I going to roll with this? Or what am I going to do? Deplane and book another flight? Like, time is money. I got to make it to San Francisco. Are we going to be okay because it's only a 45-minute flight?
Valid.
those are tears of joy. Maybe he has something to live for.
So
Or is
annoying.
this
He sounds like a
suicide
bitch.
mission? And she believed she could, and she did in row 28D, mind you, which I actually felt like better about because I was kind of annoyed because I booked a last minute flight and it was so cheap. And I'm like, ugh, it's 45 minutes. Like, I don't need to pay this much money to like sit in just a slightly wider seat. You know what I'm
Sounds
saying?
humbling. Sounds so
And then I
humbling.
started workshopping it. And I thought, if I die in coach, A, so embarrassing.
Fuck
But
yeah.
B, maybe the impact, like, won't, like, maybe you die first when you're in business class, because if you're plummeting to the ground just
Never
by
thought about
way
that.
of gravity, like, you're gonna go. Like, maybe, God willing, I sit next to a few fat people and then I'm insulated. You know, it's like a plain airbag with flesh. I don't know. I started like really thinking about it. And then I
Statistically, it's
texted
starting
Andrew
to
and I was
sound a
like,
little bit more
hey,
promising.
the pilot is hysterically crying. If I don't make it, never remarry. Lilas bish. But I boarded, I landed, I lived, I laughed, I loved. San Francisco, I
Oh,
love
hell
that city so
no.
much. It's one
I
of my
hate that
favorite
saying, by
cities
the
of
way.
all time. It's so beautiful. You're by the water. But it's a low-key apocalyptic in San Francisco right now. The amount of genitalia in the wild and like rogue needles and just homeless people running through the streets screaming. They got to figure that out. We got to
Sounds
figure that out.
terrible.
I was talking about it with my dad, you know, and I'm like, why can't we just do plagiarism politics? You know, where we just look at other places that have had a homeless crisis and then replicate that without, I don't want to get into it because I'm not informed enough to really speak on the homelessness policies, but we got to figure it out because it's a little bit scary, and I feel bad for the homeless people, but then I feel bad, and everyone's very desensitized, and there's just zombies on the street, and it's the juxtaposition of this extremely beautiful, like, financial startup, Silicon Valley, like, all the hubs of, like, Uber, and Airbnb, and Bumble, and whatever, kind of these, like, young, techie, smart, Harvard-y, and by Harvard, I think I mean Stanford. I don't know. I didn't go to college. I didn't graduate high school, but
Oh,
anyways,
I
and
did.
then you just see like a man with a
Barely.
ball out and a needle in his arm. And it's very sad, but I had a great time. Wow, what a downer. Also on my way home, I moved my flight to fly home earlier so I could spend more time with Clyde because I'm such an amazing mother. And there was only like one seat left in row. When I tell you 58, like I was in the back of the motherfucking plane. And I just can't control my facial expression. So as I'm walking through the plane and I'm looking at those numbers, decline, I grimace, I'm making a face and it's fine. It's 45 minutes, whatever. But I sit down, I'm in the very last row. I'm like laughing already because I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally by the lavatories. It's just such a humbling experience. And then all of a
Told you.
sudden, the flight attendant comes on the PA system and is like, sorry, I'm just going to start some music. I didn't realize that we hadn't put our playlist on. And I'm like, okay, that's like a weird thing to announce. Like nobody really noticed. I was just focused on the lull of sadness, the hymns of just mundane, dismal energy in row 57. But sure, put on your playlist, girly. And this flight attendant, the first song that comes on, it is full volume. It is Train's Drops of Jupiter. And I was laughing so hard alone by myself in row 613 because the last thing you need to hear on a plane that might be going down with a crying pilot, and granted, this was a different flight, but whatever, I was still processing that experience is, now she's back in the atmosphere with her hands on time. And tell me, did you flash along the sun? Did you make it to the Milky Way to see it? Which is, by the way, if you were ever to go down in a plane, cue Train's Drops of Jupiter. I want the plane to crash during the second chorus. Did Venus blow your mind? Is it everything you wanted to find? And then you list me while you looking for yourself out there. Also, this is how I know I've been podcasting too long. Oh my God, I need a vocal coach. Jesus. That chorus put me into anaphylaxis. This is how I know I've been
I'm
podcasting too
fucking
long.
dead.
I am very certain that is not my first performance of a train song on this podcast. And secondly, this morning as I was getting ready to take Clyde to ballet, who are you? Nobody. That's a Maureen from Center Stage reference. I was like, Andrew, put some music on.
Okay, I just want to pause this real quick and say this is fucking sending me, and I'm sorry my eyes are a little bit watering right now, but it's fucking sending me because I just got back from San Diego and we flew Southwest and I'm still recovering from that humbling experience, okay? It wasn't necessarily a last minute trip, but it was one of those like, all right, we just want to get in and out and we want to be able to get in at a certain time. And so the only flights that we could find were Southwest that could get us there to have the whole day there on Saturday, which was the day we were leaving. Southwest was a very humbling experience and I am still recovering. So I still fucking get it. The second thing I want to point out real quick is during this trip, keep in mind my partner sent me this episode about a week and a half ago or so, but during this trip just a few days ago, we were making Center Stage references too. So I'm fucking dying because this movie is fucking iconic. We were talking about that mean bitch in that movie, fucking iconic, and how she has steadily held this career as being a villain. And so this is already fucking incredible. I want to lock back in and keep watching though, but there's so much that is going through my mind already. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to pause the episode as I am watching, but I couldn't help but to share that story as well. And also, before I forget, I was also throwing a fucking bitch fit when we boarded the Southwest flight on our way to San Diego because they were playing a god awful song. And I was getting so fucking irritated that this fucking John Legend song was coming on. And I can't even think of the name right now, but it was so fucking annoying because I was like, why is this grown ass man talking about this in a song? Like, grow the fuck up. Like, I would hate to go down to this song. And keep in mind, I am bitching about this song playing on the airplane. And just to make matters worse about this song that I was losing my mind over, the flight attendant, she had a little bit of an accent, but instead of just announcing that it wasn't a full flight, she just kept telling everyone on the speaker, spread open in the back way. She just kept using words that were like spread wide, back end, spread open. And I was like, what the fuck is actually happening on this flight? So I was losing my shit about that. But let me get back to watching this because I don't want to make this episode even lengthier than what it's already going to be by pausing it so much and ranting. But this is what this was all about. So already loving it. Let me log back in and let's keep watching. Total side note, part of that conversation about Center Stage, I had talked about how Save the Last Dance really had me thinking that I could get into Juilliard by being so unique. Like, what if I infuse hip hop and cheerleading with a little bit of fucking tumbling? I know I can get into Juilliard. The delusion in these dance movies back in the day was so fucking real. Like, yeah, Julia Stiles may have had a fucking chair to pull out and do her little number. I don't need that. I've got the tumbling skills. I've got the hip hop skills. I can jump. I can do all this shit from cheerleading experience. I literally thought like Julia Stiles had fucking nothing on me. And I also listened to this soundtrack so religiously that I was like, maybe I can do a little mix of all of these songs into one performance and blow everyone at Juilliard away. Yeah, the delusion in these movies, you guys, were fucking insane back in the day. Is there any movie out there that fed your delusion? Let me know in the comments so I don't feel like a fucking loser, okay?
He's like, Jackie, what do you want to listen to? And I was like, Andrew, play some 90s jams, which is kind of what I always say. I'm always like on a 90s tip. I want 90s hip hop. I want 90s alternative. I want 90s pop hits. All of the 90s, all of the time.
Same.
I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like pretending like I'm going to think of something new. Although I have been playing kind of like 1960s French cafe music for Clyde's dinner time. We kind of alternate to like different, countries.
That sounds so fucking
And by
crazy.
countries, I mean genres and countries. Anyways, I was like 90s jams, Andrew. And he's like, shocker. First song that comes on, Melissa Etheridge's Come to My Window.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, this is such an angsty lesbo bop. And like, if this isn't the greatest karaoke song, that is a great karaoke song. And then I started
I don't
thinking,
do karaoke, but I can
I've
see it.
definitely also already performed Melissa Etheridge's come to my window on this podcast, which is like probably means for retirement. Like when you know that you've sang Melissa Etheridge twice on a podcast and you can't remember, it's because you've been doing it too long. And Train, I can't.
Ooh,
Like
not twice.
I would dial the numbers just to listen to your breath, and I would walk inside the depths of hell. Wait, what is it? Hold, please. Come to my window. Oh, this is the breathy intro. By the way, I've definitely already done this. Raise your hand if you've already heard me sing "Come to My Window" by Melissa Etheridge. Unless you're driving, then lift both hands and drive off the road because this is a shit show. Come to my window, crawl inside, wait by the light of. Oh wait, no, that's not it. I would dial the numbers just to listen to your breath, and I would stand in.
Now me wanting to listen to this song now as soon as I'm done recording.
We're just milking the clock, but I have to practice because I really do need a new karaoke song. I would dial the numbers just to listen to your breath, and I would stand inside my hell and hold the hand of death. You don't know how far I'd go to ease this precious ache, and you don't know how much I'd give.
So fucking unhinged. Not the snorting.
I forgot Clyde's napping. Time to wake up. Mommy's singing her lesbo lullaby. What a jam.
Imagine waking up to Melissa Etheridge. What the hell?
I also just shot myself up with NAD. So if I start to really take off like a rocket ship in the next 15 minutes, bear with me.
Did we have an outfit change?
If you have any, harrowing tale about your own journey with NAD, like multiplying cancer cells and then you die, like I'm not really interested because I feel amazing. Here's my truth. This morning, you'll notice if you're watching the video that I have a pretty stunning blow dry and some type of like a contour, like she's wearing concealer. I look slightly less busted than usual, but just barely. This morning, and wait for it, okay? Take a deep breath in and exhale. The Schimmel-Haas household took family photos. Now, we didn't go outside. I didn't wear a wide-brimmed hat and a midi dress with a wedge. There were no white button-downs, although I guess technically I was in a white button-down, albeit with ostrich feathers. But was I in a white button-down this morning? Yes. Were we in a meadow somewhere? Absolutely not. I said to the photographer, I'm like, I'm a woman deeply concerned about Lyme's disease, so we're not going into any field of any weeds or pampas grass or even the backyard, really. I like an indoor kind of editorial adjacent looking family photo shoot, like light on the door.
Pause real quick. Did you know that ticks can give you Lyme disease? Okay, maybe don't quote me on that, but I was just watching Shark Tank while I was having my breakfast this morning, and it was a pitch about ticks and how they can prevent Lyme's disease. I'm not sure if that's the same one or if there are different levels and types of, but fun fact, just in case anyone cared to know about Lyme's disease a little bit, but I could have it wrong. So maybe don't take my word for it, but I thought that it was worth sharing just in case to spread a little bit of extra awareness about Lyme's disease, even though I know nothing about it other than that Shark Tank episode. And I think it's funny that I watched that this morning while having breakfast before recording this episode. So let me get back to it.
Dorky, heavy on the cute. And not even, I'd rather us all be like, staring blankly, vacant into a camera. As long as I'm well lit and my jaw looks chiseled, I don't really care about how Andrew and Clyde look.
Facts.
Although I did hit Clyde with just a little bit of bronzer.
You did not.
I was like, please look away. Don't call CPS. And I just gave him a little bit of color in the cheeks.
That's fucking crazy.
Because it was very early in the morning and it was foggy. And I felt like the natural light was not complimenting him, and he's just so drop dead gorgeous. Unfortunately, Clyde was a monster during the entirety of the 14 minutes that we took professional photos. He started off strong, and then I saw his modeling career just slip through my fingers, through my ostrich feathers, and I'm like, this isn't going to work. But I scheduled this photo shoot. I mean, that's like a generous statement, like a month ago or so, because I thought, God, Clyde is 2 now. We have no professional photos.
He is 2 years old.
Him.
Oh my gosh.
It's really just about him. I mean, if I happen to get a solo shot that makes me look stunning and maternal. Like, am I going to hit you with it? Of course. But just to have like some documentation of us as a family that wasn't taken on like an iPhone 11 from like a random passerby. We have no photos as a family, like very, very minimal photos. So I thought it was time, and Off-Brand October has just really taken over my body. But I'm happy that we did the photos because last week, Andrew calls me. He's in like a routine, like dental investigation or appointment or whatever you want to call it. And can I tell you, this is so not nice to say out loud, but something does give me just an evil little tickle in the pickle when Andrew goes in for like any type of like a routine like teeth cleaning, and then it's like an emergency surgery. It's happened a couple times, especially because like he was so on me when I was pregnant. He's like, I read an article that the plaque can give you a heart attack and birth defects. And I was like, ugh, whatever. So he drags me to the dentist against my will, and they're like, everything looks perfect, your bone density is beautiful, no cavities, this, that, the other thing. I'm like, oh my God, like put a gold sticker on my forehead. And meanwhile, Andrew, who is such a hypochondriac, so diligent, overly diligent about everything, about the checkups, about the this, about the that, he always gets sideswiped by some type of like not serious, but like really intensive, painful fix. Okay. He had to go in for emergency root canal the last time he went into like just a basic cleaning, and he panics. Okay. She is
Probably doesn't
cool,
help.
calm, and collected on the outside.
Oh no.
But a fucking mess on the inside. Okay. And does it bring me just a sprig of joy here and there? Yes. Is that terrible to admit? Also, yes. There was some like beautiful karmic, I don't know, because he was just so on my ass. And I'm like, bitch, look inward.
A little bit.
So he calls me last week, and I can hear it in his voice. Cool, calm Andy. She's becoming unraveled. And she's like,
hell yeah.
I'm freaking out. I'm like, what is it, Andrew? It's just another cloudy day in Andy's world. I'm like, what's going on? I was like, I'm having sushi. What? And he's like, I just saw Dr. So-and-so, and I've got a cyst in the bone, like something like deeply, deeply annoying, but not serious. You know what I mean? Like something that he always manages to acquire, something that needs like a really expensive surgery, but isn't like dangerous necessarily. So there's something with the bone in the roof of his mouth, and it was causing him pain, and I thought he was being a pussy. I'm like, get some fucking Advil, get a popsicle, and shut the fuck up. Alas, he has to get some type of a surgery. And he's like, the doctor. Oh, I got a little glimmer. Something to look forward to. The doctor said he's going to try his best to save my front teeth, but there's a chance that when they remove the cyst, that they're going to have to take out some of the bone, and they're going to have to remove my 2 front teeth. And he's like, and I'm like, well, can they put veneers in? He's like, no, I'm going to have to go to a different doctor. I'm like, Andrew, are you telling me that there's a percentage that you're going to come home toothless, not homeless? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, I don't get that joke. And I'm like, oh my God, you're vibeless, toothless, and you're going to be homeless and wifeless if you don't lean into my sense of humor here. So that's on Wednesday. Everybody stay posted. This is what we call a cunty cliffhanger. Will my husband have teeth or not? We're not fucking sure. Imagine he has to get little toddlers and tiaras, a little flipperoonie, just in time for Halloween. So luckily we got these photo shoots 48 hours before my husband becomes toothless. A toothy wonder. I was talking to my sister-in-law this morning, and her and Andrew were talking, catching up. I'm like, hey, Allie, guess what? And she inspired me. My sister-in-law, those children are the Hadids. They're so gorgeous. They're like the most gorgeous family. If you close your eyes and you Googled like beautiful American family, Caucasian, like gorgeous, you would see my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, and those 3 children. They like are plucked from a fucking catalog, okay? And because they're so gorgeous, they've had like 7,000 photo shoots. And I tell her all the time, I'm like, you guys are the fucking Kentucky Hadid's. I've never seen more beautiful photos on a consistent basis. And I was like, I haven't done one. And I always say, oh, I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it. Because just for the memories and just, I'm not getting any thinner and I'm not getting any younger and I ain't getting any cuter. So I might as well capture the moment. Anyways, so I grabbed the phone from Andrew and I'm like, hey, good news is we're taking some professional photos this morning. So if your brother gets his teeth knocked out, at least we have the memories. She was laughing so hard. We were both crying. And Andrew's like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you finding so much joy in this tragedy for me? And I'm like, I don't know, Andrew. I'm not sure, but like, let me have it. Let a girl have her sunshine. Let a girl have her sunshine. So I will be starting a new charity in Andrew's honor. It is called Toothless, Not Wifeless.
Not me having a scare recently with a fucking cyst also in my mouth, going to the dentist recently, and I announced it to my family as if a bitch was dying. So I get the scare from the husband. Okay, I was like, this is it for me, you guys. They think they may have found a cyst in my mouth, and I think these are my last days. So I love everyone. I made such a big fucking deal about it. Turned out everything was good, but it's fucking hilarious. I can relate to the scare. I am pretty sure I am borderline hypochondriac, however you say that word. And it's so funny because the dynamic in my relationship is also very like, I think I'm going to die, it's the end of the world. And my partner is like, it's not the end of the world. And if you die, you die. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm like, it is a big fucking deal. So this dynamic is so fucking hilarious to me.
Toothless, not whiteless. Whiteless. Okay, that's great. Whitelist. What's that? We don't like that one bit. Good times. Oh, by the way, if you haven't bought tickets, speaking of white people, I'd like a little bit more variety.
Honestly, same. That's why I'm fucking doing this, because I'm trying to grow my diversity in my show too, okay? So I fucking get it.
My favorite thing about my shows is that I'm not drawing a strictly Caucasian crowd, which makes me so happy because the caucasity of it all, like I just can't fucking deal. I can't remember if I told this story or not. I met these 3 girls in Philadelphia and they were at the meet and greet. They were the vibe of all vibes. Okay. It was an Indian girl, an Asian girl, and a black girl. They all come up and we have a big hug. And she's like, I was going to DM you because I wanted you to upgrade our seats because I thought it would be a good look if we were sitting in the front row. And I said, honestly, why the fuck didn't you DM me? I could have really used a little diversity towards the front of the house. So thank you so much. We were crying, laughing so hard. I'm like, these are my fucking bitches right here. So funny. Anywho, I've got tickets to sell. thebitchbible.com/tour, Nashville. We're a little undersold. I'm kind of disappointed in you. And if for nothing else, do it for charity, my personal charity, Toothless Not Wifeless. Buy a ticket. It's going to be so fun. The venue is amazing. I'll have you home by 9. I've got a lot of friends coming into town. It's going to be an experience. Also, I have special guests. I know I was lying about that in Irvine, but Atlanta, I probably shouldn't say this, but it rhymes with Schmether Thick Can. Okay, if you can put that together. It rhymes with Mether Hickman. And I'm just saying a real bang for the buck. So come on down. We're going to have a blast in Los Angeles. If you'd like to attend my literal bat mitzvah with every family member, my childhood friends, my old teachers, like, please come to the Los Angeles show because it's going to be fucking weird. Bitchbible.com/tour. Few tickets left. Okay. But Nashville, pick up the pace, baby. What the fuck is Group 7? What's 6-7 and what's Group 7? I don't want to know. I tried chat GBTing it and it said Group 7 on the periodic table is the halogens. They're reactive nonmetals. What the fuck is that? Group 7 just means the 7th assigned team or category. There's also a group of 7, a famous collective of Canadian painters. There's something going on TikTok being like Group 7, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. They say a Group 7 person refers to someone who became a viral part of a recent TikTok trend after seeing a specific video first on their For You page. The trend started when singer Sophia James posted 7 videos as an experiment to see which one would go viral. The 7th video, which many identified as the one that reached them first, gained massive engagement, and users who saw it first became Group 7 members. Who fucking cares? Wait, can we just all collectively agree that this is
For
the
real.
dumbest shit of all time? I mean, God bless Sophia James
No
or whatever her
shit.
fucking name is, but this is so stupid. I was like, Group 7. Fuck off. By the way, who wants to be Group 7?
Not
I
me.
thought it was like an airline thing. Like I thought it was like a deep cut joke. Like you're last to board. Like that's where my brain went. I'm like, oh, that's funny. That means like you're just like stupid and slow or something. I thought it meant like literally last to board the plane. Like Group 7, economy bitch. Like I don't know. Which is a
My mind did
funnier
not go there,
explanation
but for real.
than that. I still don't understand it. And I don't know what 6, 7 means.
Same.
All I want to know is 5, 6, 7, 8. Grand jeté. Hit your mark. I don't know. Center stage reference, showgirls, but 6, 7, 6, 7. I heard someone say that the other day, and I'm like, I'm not even going to fucking ask. I don't want to know. I want to live in the dark with this shit. You know what I mean? I don't care about any virality.
Not me thinking
Oh,
little
speaking
Clyde
of-
was gonna come in and fucking jazz walk into the room because she started saying 5, 6, 7, 8, looking to the side of the screen. Wouldn't that have been fucking hilarious? A fucking toddler jazz walking into the fucking room? Cannot.
Lily Allen's new album. It is called West End Girl. I saw it on the Tickety Talks. I'm like, I love Lily Allen. I'll give a listen. Lo and behold, toothless, not wifeless, Andy Haas did additional production on Tennis. So, which is so random because I quite like the song Tennis. I said, Andrew, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, who fucking cares? And I'm like, I do because I like it. I always say to Andrew, I'm such a cunt. I mean, listen, he writes
That is so
a song
sick.
or two every single day. So as you can imagine, we've been together 14 years, longer, maybe 14 plus years. Do you know how much music I've had to listen to of his? Like at the beginning, I was like, my boyfriends in music, my boyfriends in music. And I would listen to the shittiest demos. And I'm like, he is Mozart. He is a genius. And then I'd make my friends listen. I'd make my parents listen. Now we're talking 14 plus years. I say, listen, Andy, I'll hear it on the radio. And if I don't hear it on the radio, I don't fucking care.
I'm gonna have to look up her husband. That's so
Like
sick.
imagine if I sat him down and I made him listen to this podcast every week. He hasn't listened to an episode since 2002. Like he's got the real thing live and direct. He doesn't give a fuck. Okay. And I think it's refreshing on both ends. Anyways, the Lily Allen album is what a ride, what a soap opera. So she's married.
I didn't
to this
even know
guy
she
from
was making
Stranger
music
Things,
still.
and you start to finish, it really is like a telenovela. The first track, she kind of like sets the scene, beautiful storytelling about how they moved to New York. Then she gets a call to star in a play. And in the middle of the song, they go into this like kind of reenactment of like a conversation with her and her then Stranger Things actor husband. And basically he asks for like some type of an open marriage situation, which never works out. I could never. I think about this all the time. I've been pretty
Same.
vocal. If Andrew even so much as like
It's crazy.
hit a bitch with a heart emoji, dead.
Fucking
Bright
gone.
cables, cut.
Same.
Toothless and wifeless.
Fuck yeah.
So
Couldn't
the
be
open
me.
marriage thing, I'm so like, I understand and I don't understand. I'm trying to be like open-minded and woke and progressive, but like deep in my soul, like just don't get married, by the way.
Right.
Just don't get married.
Just keep dating.
If that's what you want to do. Like, do you? But like, I'm just saying it's very confusing. Let's say
Yes.
you have kids and you fall out of love, but you want to keep your family together and you say, listen, you can go pork these prostitutes, but like, don't bring it into the home. Get what you need. And then like, we're not talking about it. Fuck a stranger, come home. Let's keep our family unit till the kids turn 18. And then, you know, I'm going to go get with the cabana boy. Maybe. But
That's crazy.
I don't think they don't have children. So I find that like dynamic to be interesting. And I just don't think it ever ends well. I don't think historically we've ever seen that end well. Although I do know some celebrity couples that 100%, and I'm not going to say names because that would be in poor taste. But like beloved celebrity couples that have been together for decades, that have children, that present as a united front, that are 1,000,000% fucking other people. And I believe that they both know, but it's such an entity as a couple and as a family that they just have an arrangement. So maybe it does work for some people who are trying to keep their family together. But for Lily Allen, they don't have kids. And they were only married like 4 or 5 years when this all went down. And it kind of like goes into this whole saga of them agreeing to an open marriage and him like fucking somebody they both knew and like the emotions of that and her trying not to relapse. It's a very honest, artistic kind of play-by-play of the breakdown of their marriage. And I thought it was really unique and interesting. And I love the track Tanas.
I'm going to check it out. I'm going to have to check it out for sure.
Trauma on trauma. I went to Aritzia the other day. I saw a friend and she was like wearing this really cute like little sweater and this little skirt. And I was like, where'd you get that? And she's like, Aritzia. You know how I feel about Aritzia. Like, it's just, I'm so overwhelmed by Aritzia. I don't subscribe to like the Aritzia way of life, but I thought I'm going to pop in there because it does look like they have like cute basics and like just nice sweaters, whatever. So I go into Aritzia for the first time in a couple of years. Hey girly, how are you? Let us know if we can help you with anything. I'm like, okay, thank you. I turn the next corner. Hey girly girl. Hey babe. Hey cutie. What's up? Like, let me know. And then I'm like, okay, all right. Hi girly. Hey, thank you. Okay, thanks. Just looking for sweaters. Just, hey girly girl. I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
I can't.
All right. So I get a dressing room. I wasn't even going to go into the dressing room because I do have PTSD. It was like 4 years ago, but I went into the Aritzia dressing room and I just remember it being like a very overwhelming experience. But I didn't want to have to like schlep the returns, whatever. And at first I was like, no, it's okay. I don't think I need to try them on. She's like, babe, you got to try them on. You got to try them on. Just try them on. I was like, okay. Like anything to shut the conversation down.
Sounds like a pushy bottom, and if you know what a pushy bottom is, then you know what I mean. It's so fucking annoying. I don't like people that can't take no for an answer, which is a little bit hypocritical because I don't like to take no for an answer, but I think there's a difference between taking no for an answer and seeking a yes in other ways, and being so fucking pushy that you don't know how to read a fucking room. Try a different approach, do something different, but it's so annoying, and they are two different things. I am all for rooting for people who aren't willing to take no for an answer. Totally kudos to that. But don't be a pushy bottom, okay? Don't be so pushy in that same moment, in that same environment. If you don't know how to take no, read the fucking room. You guys all know how I feel about people that lack that self-awareness, that can't read a room. So fucking annoying. Anyway.
So I go into the dressing room. Mind you, I'm just trying on like basic t-shirts and like sweaters. And there's like a black, like, close your eyes and just think of a black cashmere sweater. Like nothing exciting, as basic fucking gets. And this girl looks at me. She's working at Aritzia. It is a Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. She is wearing a elbow leather glove, a leather strapless mini dress, like Posh Spice, okay? Red tights and like an Oxford loafer. And I'm like, I don't want this bitch's advice on anything that I'm putting on my body. You are wearing a red tight and an opera glove. It's Tuesday. It's Aritzia. We've got to calm the fuck down. And she holds up my sweater. She's like, are you Jackie, babe? And I'm like, you betcha, girly girl. And she's like, okay, I'm going to put you in the big room. Don't forget to come out and show me the cuteness. I was like, okay, thank you. And she's like, I'm Veronica if you need anything, babe. I'm like, okay, babe. And then she's like, by the way, these sweaters are a moment. And I'm like, yeah, they're a moment. And she's like, show me. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I will do anything to not walk out into that communal dressing room. There's no fucking mirrors in the dressing rooms. So it's like fashion show limited to like all these broken souls who, you know, are just like, I'm just trying to buy like a trouser for work and a blazer and maybe a fucking sweater. And now we're forced into this like Brittany Murphy clueless makeover runway show with the girlies of Aritzia. And I'm like, fuck. I tried to put the phone up on the stool to see how it fit on the pants. And I'm trying to jump up and take a picture, anything to not go out. And all of a sudden she's like, babe. And I'm like, am I babe? Am I girly? Am I like, what? Who am I? Like, which pet name am I going to get? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, come out. And I'm like, okay. I am wearing like literally like a Goldie jeans and a black sweater. And she's like, yes, queen, work it. And I'm like, oh my God, who do I have to fuck to get my sweater to go? Like, how can I make this like the least interactive experience possible? Yes, queen, get it, girl. And then I'm like, now she's pumping me with compliments. God forbid I don't buy the fucking sweater and jeans. Like, what will she do with her opera gloves? It was, I needed to eradicate the experience. I was just like, I was throwing the thing, trying to get out of there. Bye, girly girl. And then as you're leaving, it's like the biggest fucking store. It's the longest fucking store. As you're leaving, they're all popping out of the sweater piles being like, yes, queen, got it, girl. Love you, girly. See you next time. Have a great day. Which is like beautiful customer service, by the way. But too much.
Yes, leave
like,
me the fuck alone.
I want to say something. I don't think I'll ever step foot in Aritzia again. Do I have a chest rash? Probably. In this week's rendition, there we go, of Not All Heroes Wear Capes, I would like to celebrate a young woman named Kira Cousins, okay, from Scotland Island. Is Scotland? They're like adjacent. I've been to both. A woman of the world, okay? Young Scottish mother, Kira Cousins, okay, she faked an entire pregnancy and then tried to deceive friends and family with a lifelike silicone baby doll. Now, she faked an entire pregnancy for 10 months, okay, from like bump to bump to bump to birth all the way through to baby. This is unbelievable. I guess she was documenting all of this on TikTok, and she rolled out this whole birth scenario Ponzi scheme, had a fake ultrasound with a prosthetic belly. She had a gender reveal party with pink confetti. She was committed, okay? And her baby's name was Bonnie Lee Joyce, born on October 10th. She weighed 5 pounds and 4 ounces. But once again, this is not real. She faked all of this. So she probably wanted a smaller baby to like maintain the allure of her tight vagine. And then she thought, oh, maybe the baby's a little smaller and requires a little more care, so people will like send more dinners or something. Now I'm just getting into the mind of a killer or a psychopath, not a killer. So then she announces that this was her apology that she gave to her family, friends, and followers. I'm so sorry. I wasn't pregnant. There was no baby. I made it up and kept it going way too far. I faked scans, messages, a whole birth story, and acted like a doll was a real baby. I don't have a proper excuse. I wasn't in a good headspace, but that doesn't make what I did okay. I know this is going to stick with me for a long time and that I've probably lost friends I'll never get back. You cried happy tears, picked me up, brought me places, believed everything I said. You didn't deserve to be lied to like that. None of you did. Everyone who came to the gender reveal.
That's crazy.
Who gave me gifts or support. I fucked up and I hurt a lot of people. And to everyone I made look bad along the way, the dad and his family especially, I'm super sorry. In everyone else's defense, the doll could move. You could change the facial features, arms and legs, so when no one is close to the doll, it really does look real. No one was looking at my baby expecting it to be a doll. I love her. What a ride. Okay, I want to fake a pregnancy, which is like so tone deaf and tasteless and disgusting. But if I was to fake a pregnancy, I thought about this a lot when I worked as a receptionist. I'm like, if I faked, I used to think about strategies to exit my situation. And luckily I found podcasting and it's worked out splendidly for me. But before then, I didn't have a lot of options because I didn't have even a high school degree and I have no real skill set or like gifts or talents. So I was a bit limited. I'm like, I'm going to die behind this reception desk. And I thought, like, what if I like just for some time off because Andrew was going to London. And I remember being like, oh God, like, wouldn't it be amazing if I could just go? But of course I couldn't because I had bills to pay and a job and no options. And I thought, what if I said that I have a substance abuse problem and I need to go to rehab?
No, because why am I sitting here thinking how impressive it is to keep alive that long and how no one called her out on it and no one picked up on it? Like, I'm obviously not the only one that was impressed by it. Clearly, Jackie was impressed by it too, but I'm literally sitting here thinking, holy fuck, that's low-key kind of impressive. And talk about a girl who doesn't lack commitment issues. Like, that is insane.
Then I could get the paid time off. They couldn't legally fire me because it would be like a mental health issue, like a HIPAA violation. And then I could pretend that I was going to a 30-day rehab, but really I could just go to London with Andrew. And then I could just turn off my phone. And it wasn't like Instagram wasn't around. So it was kind of like a genius plan. And I floated it by my parents at the time. And they were like, that's really like not a great idea, but also genius. And I was like, I'm thinking about it. But then I was like, oh, if I go to the holiday party, I'm going to have to act like I'm in recovery. And I don't want to like deal with that so long term. And I don't want to like wear the cloak of having any type of like substance abuse issues long term and just feel like it's not the best look for me. And then I thought, well, I could pretend that I was pregnant but I don't know how you could get yeah, you'd have to give fake birth. And then I could do like, oh my God, I could do a baby shower, but I would only register for things at like Nordstrom or some like department stores with really good return policies, so that I could just like bring back the baby Bjorn and like maybe compile all the gifts and get an Andiamo bag or something, maybe a new piece of luggage, maybe a new Rimowa. Jackie, have you been on tour for months and months and months and at the very end decided to get a gorgeous set of glossy green Rimowa luggage to go hightail it back to economy? Yes, I sure did. Because when you are rolling to the back of a plane that might go down with a crying pilot, at bare minimum, you should have a beautiful green piece of Rimowa
I do agree.
luggage.
Yep.
Highs and
And now
lows,
I'm going to look
baby.
those up.
If I'm going to die to trains, drops of Jupiter, I would like to deep breathe into my Rimowa. Okay.
All right, you guys, hopefully I haven't turned you away from my show to run to her show. Hopefully you guys liked discovering this new podcast with me. I know for me personally, I'm definitely going to be ripping a page out of this bitch's book, okay? Because I love the way she just casually talks into the camera as if she's just having a conversation with someone else. And I've been very open about how I've struggled with being comfortable talking into a camera by myself. I have definitely been able to notice my progress and seeing how much more fun I have when I just let those insecurities go and I just talk and rant. And obviously, not to toot my own horn, but those are some of the better clips that do well on my socials. And so I am starting to really tap into being comfortable just talking and shooting the shit on camera. But I am completely honest, it's something that has not come as easy as some of you guys may think. Talking into a camera by yourself can be a little bit scary, and I struggle with that. I still get anxious, I still get nervous, and sometimes I feel like I can't be as reactive on camera because then I start to second guess the fact that it's now documented on camera, and I struggle with that. And so I'm really glad I did this because I just discovered another awesome podcast that I may tune into, but I also feel like this is what I really wanted to do. I wanted this to be a little bit interactive and I wanted to enjoy the process. I want to have fun on the show. And I feel like being as open with you guys by discovering other artists or other collaborators or other shows, I feel like it's also just a really good way for me to talk into the camera and keep pushing at this because this is something I really want to make work. And so I appreciate you guys joining me on this journey and watching this with me and all the other journeys, all the other shit that I do. Sometimes the ones that get 0 views to 5 views to 150 views or more. Like, regardless of the viewership, I'm still going to dabble into experimenting what it is that I want to do with the show. And this was one of them. So thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know if there's any other podcasts you would like for me to discover. And who knows, maybe I I will reach out to some of these podcasts and have some podcast on podcast collaborations in the future. Full transparency, I have reached out to Jackie in the past, but seeing as how fucking good she is, I now understand why she never even responded to me. All right. We've got lots of work to do. And all I can say is that I am doing my best to continue to grow on the show, and I'm doing it in front of you guys. And so it's not the easiest thing, but I want to enjoy the ride. And so again, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to try something new. Let me know what your thoughts are. And to be honest with you guys, I don't even know how to conclude this episode because I'm wearing a new fucking hat on the show and it's cutting off my circulation. I am like getting a little bit of a headache. I keep getting fucking whiplashes of like heat and chills because it's pressing on my head so fucking tight that I don't even know how to conclude this episode. Let me check the mark. That's definitely a dent on my forehead. Holy shit. I knew I wasn't just making up this fucking headache that was incoming, okay? Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm about to take this fucking hat off and honestly, maybe sit in some feels and be a little bit insecure as to why this podcast is so much better than mine. Love you all. Tune in for another episode next week. Hey, if you've made it this far, don't forget to follow the socials on the screen or in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next week.